So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to all of you. So, this is the virtual ceremony happening for the launch of Literoma Tagore and Romance Compendium 2024. So, as you know, that in the virtual ceremony, those who can't make it to our physical book launch, we invite those writers here, and I'm so honored to be once again be joined by one and only Dr. Molly Joseph, who had been a pillar of strength in the last few compendiums with her brilliant write-ups. She had been a part of some of the amazing compendiums which came up in the last 6 or 7 months, and all her write-ups got not just critically acclaimed, but had received brilliant feedback from everyone who had read. So without taking much time, I'll straight away go to Dr. Molly. Thank you, ma'am, and congratulations on being picked as one of the writers for Tagore and Romance Compendium 2024, presented to everyone by Literoma. So congratulations and thank you, ma'am. So thank you for being here in this virtual ceremony.
Greetings, everyone.
So, ma'am,
Let me.
yeah. Ma'am, I request you to introduce yourself and then say a few words about what inspired you to come up with such a wonderful writing which you have contributed to this compendium.
Sure. Dear Literama, thank you for accepting me and my poems. And I would say, Rabindranath Tagore always was my inspiring bard. The moment I picked up the pen, the words of Gitanjali would resonate in me. And even when I was a child at school, we had that anthem. This is my prayer to thee, my Lord. Strike, strike at the root of penury in my heart. Give me the strength lightly to bear my joys and sorrows. This is my prayer to thee, my Lord. So even as a child, it would resonate in me. My father was a Gandhian, and he would explain the meaning. You should face life with equanimity, whether it be joy or sorrow, with a sense of balance. If you take life, you can be leading a meaningful life, not that materialistic glory or everything. And then I grew up in that credo. I turned into a teacher, professor, and I was molding generations of students, also instilling in them this kind of values, the kind of universalism that lies beneath things, cutting across walls. And when the mind is without fear, the head is held high. I used to exhort my children, my students, that believe in yourself and think of the great words of the bird. So he was my inspiration throughout. And when I take up the pen, somehow I think of my bird, and then the pen keeps flowing. That's how it goes.
That's really an emotional, actually, way of putting it. And I really am so honored to hear that story here live from you. So, ma'am, if you can zoom in a bit on the kind of writing that you had written this time. So, it's a poetry. So, we had found your different forms of writing already. But this time you had gone ahead with a poetry. So if you can just say a few words about this particular poetry, that will be great for the readers to know.
Yeah. And as I said in the beginning, as an annex to that, whenever I take up a pen, I think of my great bard speaking about the children playing in the seashore. They play in the seashore, and there is merriment coming up from their innocence, while the sea roars and roars. And here are we also poets on the seashore of endless words, pebbles, picking up collections and making it to build the castles in the minds of readers. That is what is coming up. And then, like a child who is making a kind of a castle that crumbles, I was sad once after I read it, I felt half of what I thought was not inside. I was sometimes disappointed, that always happens to a writer. But then there comes the bard, holding my hand and picking me up and telling me that is the line. You may go through the lines later. I'm not giving it to the full. See, you came to hold up my hand, pointing at the vast expanse where children play with shouts and revels among the charming glades and shades, so blissful, accepting all. Oh, my bard, we watched how after the nocturnal hide and seek, the moon retires, paving way for the morning glory. There, where the radiance fell and spread, we listened to the glory of our Creator, sung full-throated by the birds. That's how my lines. See? So he asked me to look at nature and find how even the moon paves way for the morning glory. Or even the birds are singing about God's glory. There is real spirituality that I felt I was imbibing once I started taking my pen. And I think those who read my collection, my poem here in the book, can well immerse themselves in it. And at the end, I just wind up this way. Oh, bird, how together our winged self transcends the shores of wordplay to resonate, seeking the eternal edge to things where borders coalesce. That's how the
This
bard
is excellent.
inspires me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
this is excellent, ma'am. So this is really overwhelming. Ma'am, on that same note, I like to ask you, what is the future writing plan that you have? Because it's a lovely poem that you have come up with. And also because Literoma is also planning some more compendiums moving ahead. So will you like to contribute to those as well?
Yeah, definitely. I look forward to because this is the kind of credo and culture we have to permeate for the world. That's the need of the day now. Let
Absolutely.
people come out of their narrow divisions and absorb the kind of real spirituality, not in any religious term I'm telling,
Mhm, mhm.
but the kind of baptizing our spirits in that divinity where we called each other together, forgetting our differences. And here is my new collection of poems coming of being and beyond. It is in the press. And of course, this kind of, you know, reaching far above the visible and the tangible, where our bard takes us. That should be our aim. And all my efforts will be there with you, Litrama, to spread this kind of a culture and credo.
Yeah.
All the best.
Thank
We are
you.
here
Thank
for
you
you.
so much, ma'am. So to end the discussion, I'll go back to you once again because you are not just a writer, you are have been an educator and mentor for many students as well. So what will be your message for the younger, especially the younger people of Literoma who will be watching this video later?
Exactly. That I know many budding youngster is listening to this, getting inspired by the acts of Litrama, the very productive kind of activity Litrama is taking up. Get soulfully engaged in it and then relate yourself to the world around. And let us see how the sediments of wisdom that is there in the annals of history, in the big examples set by Rabindranath Tagore and the writers of yore. Let it sediment within us, and then let us contribute to the world selflessly, soulfully. That is, you can do it because the future is in your hands. You are the molders of the future, molding a kind of worldview and mindset for the readers who are reading it avidly, your writings. All best wishes to the young budding writers of Literama. May God bless.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for putting it in such a nice manner and in such a inspiring manner. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this was Dr. Molly Joseph, one of the contributors, one of the proud selected writers of for this Literoma, Tagore and Romance Compendium 2024. So, congratulations, ma'am, once again, and we're looking
Thank,
forward to see you in our future projects as well.
thank you. Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.